Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike.
It's Jen.
Sad story day continues. Story number 2. Again, we just got done talking about like his trying to hint at their parents to go commit suicide in North Korea to save themselves some money. Now we're going on to a young girl, a 19-year-old girl. I mean, this young girl lives in southern China, a rural part of southern China, and she posted something on WeChat, or a Chinese version of Twitter, and she is basically selling herself to pay for her mom's medical expenses.
And the medical expenses would cost up to around $51,000 USD.
Mm-hmm.
So she can't pay for that right now because she's only earning like, what,
1,000 yuan a month?
1,000 yuan a month. And her mom looks like she's in a terrible situation.
Yeah, her mom is 45 years old. Again, she's 19. And she literally, here's her post on WeChat. She says, and this is translated, of course, "I wish that a kind-hearted person could buy me so my mother can undergo this operation." Her mother has skin cancer, by the way. "After the transaction, I am willing to work at the will of the buyer in return. I will do whatever the buyer asked me to do. I never go back on my word." And at the end, she wrote, "Everything I said is true. I will sell myself to the highest bidder."
And then she leaves her phone number there.
Yeah, I mean,
people to contact her.
Just think about this, guys. What kind of situation do you have to be in to need to sell yourself? Now, we talk a lot about China. Let's just face facts, okay? There's always trolls on watching these videos going, "Oh, hey, you guys are bad mouth." We're just stating the facts here. There's really no healthcare in China. Really not anything the government does to provide its citizens with healthcare. People who, if you're sick, unless you got money, that's it. You don't really have any hope. And no one's gonna help you, maybe relatives or maybe friends, but the government isn't gonna help you. So this girl is in a situation where she's in rural China. She probably does not have a lot of support from her family members. She says she herself actually supports family members, including an elderly father and young siblings, sorry. So there's not a lot of support hitting her way. And then you get hit. So she's earning 1,000 yuan a month and she has to support her family. All of a sudden, you're getting hit with a $350,000 operation.
Yeah, because her mom had been recently diagnosed with skin cancer.
Right.
And she's getting this huge infection on her right thigh. And this girl's just so desperate, like she can't do anything at that point. The only thing she can do is sell her body, but like
that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
So imagine you're in her situation. The doctor says, "Okay, we need $350,000. Okay, this is a situation in China where if you don't get that $350,000, the doctors aren't gonna do any charity work for you. They're just literally then let her die.
Yeah.
So that's just the reality of the situation.
What would you do in that situation if you were in her shoes?
And
your mother was dying, would you do the same thing?
You know what
I would.
You would.
I probably would.
And just be like, "I'll do anything you want."
If I saw my mom in that situation and I was like helpless and I couldn't do anything, I'd probably just sell myself.
Well, nobody would probably buy me, because look, what do you want to do with me? But I understand there are a lot of shady individuals around the world who would buy that for particular purposes we're not going to get into.
But whoever would take advantage of her in this kind of situation,
people
after
will.
knowing her mother's condition, that's just disgusting in all levels.
But people will. There are those disgusting people in the world who will. So in her case, this is kind of a mystery right now.
An insider actually reported that a generous boss had responded to the advertisement and promised to cover all the bills for her, but they won't reveal what he's going to do to her.
Yeah, right. So
I'm just praying that he's like a generous person.
I just find it shady when this report is saying that a generous boss, first of all, that's already kind of, all right, a generous boss bought her. But wouldn't they have made it very clear? Wouldn't he or she have made it really clear that, hey, make sure, hey, I'm not going to do anything to her. I just want to give her the money, no strings attached.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He didn't want to say anything. He didn't want to tell them what he was going to do, so that's
shady to me.
Yeah, that's suspicious.
Look, I'm glad that she got what she wanted. She got the money, but the way she had to go through to do this, and this is what also makes me really, really annoyed. The other users are responding to this story online. Just like you, other girls or people have said, "I might do the same thing. If I were her, I might do the same thing." Another person said, "Rich kids can spend 350,000 yuan in a few months, which is astronomical for a poor family."
Yeah, but other people don't support her decision to sell herself.
Look, do I support what she is doing to try to get this money? No, absolutely not. I can't imagine anybody doing that, like, I just can't. If any of my friends were like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. If you came up to me, you're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, I have no other choice. I mean, I'd be like, look, let's think of something. There must be something else, because you shouldn't. Humans aren't, we're not objects. We're not items to sell or buy. So we shouldn't have to resort to doing this. And it's just horrendous that the society right now is at a point where people are doing this. And let's also talk about something else. What do we always hear about in the news? Rich Chinese tourists, right? Some of the richest people right now are Chinese people in the world. And they're going around like this guy with a stupid 10 iPhones for his dog. Like,
spend $5,000 on a dress.
You hear a lot about the ritzy, glitzy side of China. You go to China, you typically visit Shanghai, Beijing. You see these nice buildings, these nice restaurants, people walking around. They all got a lot of money to spend, a lot of disposable income. But the rural parts of China are suffering greatly. I mean, the income discrepancy between the rich and poor are astronomical. So many people in China are suffering, and you don't hear about the stories. I'm glad the story came out. I'm hoping that generous boss is really generous and not trying to take advantage, is not going to take advantage of her and just be like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to do something good. If you're that generous, I mean, for 350,000 yuan to like a rich person like in China is nothing.
I'm sure there were like many situations just like her, except the people weren't able to sell their bodies or sell themselves.
So again, hopefully everything works out well for this young lady and her mother, and we'll definitely keep you guys updated if we hear anything new on this story. Thank you all so much for watching. See ya.